Question number 6, Honourable Annette King.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Health. Is he satisfied New Zealanders are receiving timely and affordable health care?
Honourable Jo Goodhew.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I am satisfied with the average $500 million a year increase in vote health, despite tight financial times, while recognising that health can always make use of more resources. I'm particularly satisfied that affordability for families with under 6-year-olds has improved under this government, with almost all under 6s able to access 24/7 free GP care. I'm also satisfied with the progress in reducing waiting times at emergency departments and faster access to elective surgery. However, there is always room for improvement, and we are focused on delivering even better services for New Zealanders.
Very good. Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Honourable Annette King.
Well, in light of that answer, is he satisfied that DHBs and GPs are now advising patients who don't qualify for an operation to, quote, seek alternative provision, end quote, in other words, pay for it themselves, as Agnes of Southern DHB found recently when her GP advised her to pay for her first hip replacement so she can have a better quality of life while waiting for a second hip replacement in the public health system sometime in the future.
Honourable Jo Goodhew.
On behalf of the Minister, I would have to ask the member to forward to the Minister those particular circumstances so they could be looked into. But, however, I do need to impress upon the member that under her government, when they went out of office, there were 118,000 Agneses getting elective surgery. There are now 158,000 Agneses getting elective surgery.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Honourable Annette King.
Does the fact that the Auckland DHB reduced the number of cataract operations carried out in 2013 account for Mrs Wilson of Helensville being told that she would have to pay for her 2 cataract operations at the cost of $10,000, which she said she would have to, quote, come out of the savings put aside for our retirement, end quote?
That's ridiculous. Order. Honourable Jo Goodhew.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, what I am aware of is that the Auckland DHB has had a funding increase of $180 million. I am also aware that there has always been people waiting for surgery in New Zealand. Under the previous Labour government, people waiting longer and people not getting certainty of surgery. And I am in fact aware that under this government we have certainly increased the number of people getting elective surgery.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Honourable Annette King.
In light of the fact that this government has been governing for over 5 years, is he satisfied that South Canterbury DHB did 18 only more orthopaedic operations in 2013 than they did in 2010? And does that account for Grey Power Timaru calling a meeting next Wednesday to discuss access to orthopaedic waiting lists, which, according to the president of Grey Power Timaru, quote, is leaving so many of those requiring total hip and knee replacements in limbo, end quote, and in pain?
Well, who's the MP? Honourable Jo Goodhew.
On behalf of the Minister of Health, what I am aware of is that compared to the previous Labour government's provision, this government has managed 175 more orthopaedic operations than were happening under the previous government. So actually, the people of South Canterbury are most definitely better off under this government.
Touched a sore spot.
Order.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Order. I'll just assist the member here now.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Annette King.
In light of the fact this government has been in office for over 5 years, is satisfied?
Order. Honourable Gerry Brownlee, point of
Mr.
order.
Speaker, that's the second or third question that the member has begun with those words. They are not in line with standing orders, and I suggest someone of her experience is abusing the House by trying to put in a comment that has got nothing to do with the question.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
I will hear from the
Thank you,
Honourable
Mr.
Annette
Speaker.
King.
I feel that it is acceptable for me to add those words in light of the fact the Minister and every answer has gone back to when I was Minister 8 years ago to add to her answer.
Order. I need no more assistance. The member, Mr Brownlee, is strictly correct that supplementary questions should be kept far briefer than we're seeing from the member at this stage. However, I accept that it is a particularly important year to all members, and I'm not ruling the question out of order in any way at all, but I do warn all members who ask questions, supplementary questions, that are quite verbose and leave attack lines within them, then they can expect a relatively political answer back again, and I will not take kindly to members then questioning whether the question has been adequately addressed. Supplementary question...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I have not done that.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Annette King.
Is he satisfied that a 62-year-old registered nurse who has worked for 45 years in public hospitals, who's been diagnosed with osteoarthritis, can't even get a specialist appointment because the DHB has told her that, quote, currently we receive more requests for specialist appointment than we're able to provide, therefore we have to limit referrals to those most urgent, end quote. She has been sent back to her GP for increased pain medication.
Honourable Jo Goodhew.
On behalf of the Minister of Health, I would invite the member to forward that case to the Minister. However, and because I have this page open in front of me, I will say that if we use South Canterbury as an example that the member has previously raised, there have been 2,331 more FSAs under this government. So things have improved under this government.
Order. Supplementary question, Kevin Haigh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What specific actions has he taken to address the disturbing findings in the Auditor-General's 2011 report on progress in delivering publicly funded scheduled services to patients, which found a poor relationship between how sick a person is and how quickly they get their surgery? And does this problem still exist?
Honourable Jo Goodhew.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I'm going to have a go at this, although I can tell you that I don't have a briefing in front of me on that particular report. So what this government is doing is we are looking at the standardised results for across DHBs for rankings per 10,000 about how people are actually getting access to it. But there are standardised ways of assessing in each DHB in this country how a person will actually qualify for access to services so that those that need it most will get it first. And that is not an arbitrary system. That is a carefully, clinically assessed way of dealing with patients who need the surgery, need the appointment most.
Supplementary question, Kevin Haigh.
And I do appreciate the difficulty the Associate Minister has. Is he concerned that, according to his own answers to written questions, the average case weight or complexity of elective surgery being carried out has been declining under his watch? And if not, why not?
Honourable Jo Goodhew.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I can't respond based on the written answers that the member has actually provided, but I can tell you that under this government, 40,000 people more a year are actually getting access to elective surgery. It's true.
Supplementary question, Kevin Haigh.
How will he ensure that the sickest patients with the greatest needs stop missing out on surgery, given that it is his simplistic targets that are causing them to be left off surgical lists in the first place?
Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I would have to say that every single case in this book that tells me that someone's had an orthopaedic surgery doesn't sound like simplistic surgery to me. Therefore, I would doubt that the member is correct in his assertion.
Question number 7, Mark Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Housing.